Stay tuned for today's Antidote, brought to you by the Renegade Success Network. Today's Antidote features a healthy dose of thought-provoking insights and information for business owners, entrepreneurs, leaders, and nonprofit professionals. Each day since March of 2020, this program has offered that one thing to help you continue on your own unique pathway to success. And now, Renegades, we bring you Bob Graham and Tom Brush.
Hey, Monday, Tom.
I was wondering, I thought maybe you were just going to let that slide today, but you caught up. Congratulations.
No, I'm here. I'm demonstrating some patience. Sorry we started late. We are having some technical difficulties. It's funny, the reason we have technical difficulties, Tom, is because I let my computer go for 4 days and the battery ran out of charge and it doesn't have enough power to power the webcam and all the things that I need to make this work. So I'm actually doing this on my phone, hence the weird view.
Well, we make do with what we have and where we're at, and then
That's it.
we'll move forward.
That's
and then it's kind of an understanding that that's just the way it is going to be this morning, which is fine.
That's how renegades go, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. It doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to be real.
It certainly isn't going to be perfect. It'll be real, though. Yes.
Well, it'll never be perfect. Nothing is ever perfect.
Good point. That's Tom. I'm Bob. It's today's Antidote, which you know by now, hopefully. And we are talking about patience today and all this week. And this is a topic that's near and dear to my heart only because I really struggle to demonstrate patience. It is one of the biggest challenges I find in my days. So, Tom, would you like to do a little promo for what's coming up this month? We got some good stuff coming, I know.
Are you asking me to do it, or you want me to just put the slide up?
I'd love to have you do it. I figured we'd trade roles today just for giggles.
Okay, sure. So as you know, every month we do have multiple things going on. We have 2 different networking events where we bring people together and have conversations and get to know one another. So it's different. It's unique. It's not your typical come in and give a second elevator pitch. It's an opportunity for you to connect and engage with other members of our community and understand a little bit more about them so that then you can figure out where are there opportunities that you can work together, that you might be able to help them, or it's just you have a better knowledge of who and what they are, and you can figure that out in the end. And then every Wednesday during the month, we have our Renegade check-in and check-up. It's an opportunity for you to just pop by, see what's going on, check in during the week to make sure that things are going well, and maybe check up on your progress of what you were trying to accomplish and whether you are making great strides or you're falling a little bit behind. This might be an opportunity for you to figure out how to finish the week strong. It's also a great networking opportunity for you just to connect and engage and talk about kind of what's going on in your world and the opportunity to meet other people in the group. So that's further information about what we have going on this month. You can see the dates there. We hope that you will join us. Our networking event is tomorrow morning, 8:30 a.m. So we hope there will be information about that inside the Ring of Renegades Facebook group. And we hope you'll join us. It should be a great discussion. How was that?
Awesome. And I understand now why you're able to get your beverage break in there. I was able to go get my coffee that was on the other side of the porch, bring it back, pour it, and take 2 sips while you were talking.
Okay. I don't usually do that, but that's all right.
You do take a sip of your orange beverage.
Sometimes.
So that was great, Tom. And really, I can't stress how great those events are. If you're someone who doesn't like networking, if you're someone who does like networking, if you're just trying to get different opinions, different ideas, every time we've done any of those events, I've walked away with some real insights about everything from how to manage email, how to manage time, to just what other people are facing. And I think one of the things I really like about those events, Tom, is it reminds me that I'm not the only person trying to do what I'm doing, that even though we're all different and we're trying to do our own thing, many of the things we're doing are very similar.
Absolutely. Well, and we deal with the same challenges. We deal with the same, things that are in front of us that we're all trying to deal with in a different way. And I think anytime you can get together and better understand, one, that you're not alone, but also that you are learning how others handle it. So you're gaining value from that, which will have influence over what is real for you. So it's a great opportunity to connect and engage, and just to get to know people in this community, our growing community.
Yes,
Yeah, it's a great opportunity. We hope you'll join us. So let's now dive in, Bob.
Well, let me say one more thing about this growing community. I was with my mother yesterday for Mother's Day, and she knows from my sister, who I knew paid attention to this, but now it's become a habit for my sister every morning at breakfast to watch and listen to us. And my mother knew roughly how many people we had in our growing group. So it's funny how these things, you don't expect them to like permeate parts of your life, and they do.
Well, I think it's one of those things, it's a great intro into where, our conversation for this week is, we think we're going to do something and it's just going to, bam, have immediate results. And it is hard to wonder. I mean, that has been a year plus of us constantly being in front, sharing, connecting, engaging with people to grow the community to where it is and where we hope it will continue to go. And I think that, we never taken that first step, we wouldn't be where we are. And I think we could have easily, especially during this past year, been easy to say, you know what, it's not accomplishing what we want, time to move on, which could have been okay. And sometimes it does take that a little extra patience to hold on and move forward. And so I think you're right. We never know who, and I run into people, not all the time, but occasionally, who would be like, oh yeah, hey, I caught your thing the other day. Or, I saw it on your Facebook page. Thanks for sharing it. It was interesting. I think that's the piece. And those are the people who tell us. There are like all the other people who might gain something from it, small or large, who don't share that. And I think that's the beauty of it and why patience is so important, because we don't always know who is being impacted by whatever it is that we're sharing.
I think when we talk about patience and why and what it is, it's really a matter of trust. That patience equals trust in my book. If you trust that you have something you believe in, that you're going to figure it out, that each step you take, even if it's taking you further away from your goal, you're still learning and it's moving you towards your goal or objective, then patience is the byproduct of trusting in yourself. And I say that as someone who has not always trusted in myself. In fact, there are times that I think I'm the least trusting of myself. I would be more apt to trust someone I've never met. If they said, hey, I'm trying to build a boat that's going to take me across the Atlantic Ocean with solar power and wings, I'd be like, okay, that sounds good. How can I help you? When it comes to my own stuff, it's harder to be patient. And I think, as you've experienced over the last year and a couple months with this, how many times have I come to you and said, Tom, this is not moving very quickly. I'm really getting antsy. I mean, I can think of, I didn't keep a formal count, but I'm going to say at least 5 times where you had to talk me off of the ledge of, hey, this isn't making sense. This just isn't going the way we want to go, because I'm someone who wants immediate gains.
Sure. Well, yeah, you're not alone.
Like, do it and get the result. And I don't know if everyone's that way, but I really struggle to just wait for things. I struggle when I give people proposals for work and they drag their feet for a day, a week, a month, not because they're trying to stick it to me or anything, but just because it's not the highest priority to them. And I really struggle with that. I struggle with being patient when you send the invoice. And sometimes I speak and the invoice goes through the mill and it might be 3-4 months till I get paid. And I struggle with being patient there. I know I will get paid. I understand it completely. And it's an administrative process. And if I call every day and go, where's my pay? Where's my pay? Where's my pay? I will never get another opportunity with that group. So one of the things that I've had to learn about patience is really how to just almost accept things as they are and really lessen the amount of things I think I can control. I can't make someone pay me. I can't make someone sign a contract with me. I can't make a client sign up for a meeting with me.
Nope.
I have very little control. And Tom, I don't know if you noticed about me. I'm guessing you do, but I like control.
Really?
I know, it's a shock. Your insight for the week has come, right?
The fact that you get, but you are getting better with that. I mean, you gave up the behind the scenes control of this show, and that was one piece of it. And I think that's the challenge, is we have expectations, and expectations are sometimes unrealistic, at least in the time frame that we think they are going to happen. And, whether it's you're standing in line waiting for, the grocery store to, because it's mobbed on a Saturday or Sunday morning, or you're stuck in traffic, it's hard to be patient and just wait. Like, look, I can't control any of this. I can't get the grocer to go any faster. I can't tell everybody else in the line. I mean, I could tell everybody in line to leave because I'm more important than someone else. And that's really just not the way it goes. We just don't have control over those things. And so I think the opportunity to learn and understand, what do I control and how can I live with all those forces around me that are out of my control, and understand that, I'm moving forward. It's like, I've been one of those people who my patience is pretty good.
Oh, I'll say.
I couldn't stand in line with the best of them and just be like, you know what, this is what I can't control it. I'm just gonna, wait it out and see what happens. And I think then at some point you might decide, hey, you know what, the traffic is too long. The item I was buying was not that important. The client I was waiting on, it's time to go to someone else. And I think you just have to make those decisions based on the information you have at hand, and hope that you don't, make those decisions too quickly, just as things are about to open up. And the choice you make takes you in a completely other different direction that is actually a lot slower than had you held out and waited for the situation to change.
What's interesting to me, Tom, is I was reading some research a couple of years ago about small businesses, and at least half of small businesses that fail are within days or weeks of having an event occur that would cause them to be able to go forward. And the way they looked at this, because I didn't believe that, I'm like, how could they know what was going to happen? But in many cases, it was an RFP that someone had submitted, a proposal, and by the time it came through, they were out of business. And it had been in the month or two preceding. So I've seen that in my own business at times. It's like when things get to be the bleakest, suddenly something comes along that's really great. If you can wait it out, if you can have the patience that, wow, I can remember twice I lost my biggest client, and I was just stressed about it. Like, oh, what am I going to do? And within 24 hours, the phone rings and someone comes out of the blue and goes, hey, Bob, I've been meaning to call you. I've been getting your emails for 2 years. And that ended up being one of my bigger clients, and another situation very much similar to that. And I think when we talk about patience, what it is also, it's trust and it's faith. Because faith is believing in something you can't really put your finger on, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
And I think that's what we demonstrate each day when you don't know what the economic certainty of what you're doing is. I certainly don't. There's a lot of moving parts out there in the world right now. And I think patience is really in high demand right now, and very difficult for people to really wrap their arms around and even accept, because we don't know what's going to go on with the pandemic. We don't know what's going to go on. I was talking to people over the weekend. We're like, we're planning for a vacation, but we haven't paid the money yet because we're not sure what's going to happen this summer. And then someone else was saying, yeah, we're in the same boat. We have our kids want to go to camp, but we don't want to pay the money. And it's a very uncertain time. And then also, where's school going to be in the fall? And that affects so many business people.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, I think that it's interesting. There were some announcements that came out from two large banks that they were expecting people to be back in September. And I think I think they're getting some backlash from making a decision before they have all the information and before they have truly understood what are the ramifications of that decision. Now, that's fine. They have the ability to do that. And they feel like they need to make some of those decisions now based on the time to transition all of that. And I think that those are going to be challenges that people are going to face. You know, that there's decisions that are going to have to be made. And at some point, you know, that is the thing with patience. At some point, you will have to make a decision. You know, you can only be patient for so long, depending on what it is you're trying to accomplish. And I'm sure that'll be more of our discussion as we get through the week of some of the challenges of being patient. Yeah, I think it's an interesting time. I think that people just want immediate results. They want immediate gratification. We've been so conditioned that is a part of what we do. You know, heaven forbid you go to a fast food restaurant and there's a line and you have to wait. Well, I thought this was fast food. I thought I could either stand in line and walk in, get it, get out, or go now. Then there's a drive-through. I don't even have to get out of my car. Well, now I'm, you know, go to any Chick-fil-A at about noon. You're not getting fast food. I don't
recommend that.
Yeah, you're not getting fast food. I mean, even though they do a great job, there are still lines. And so I think that, you know, it's become so easy to think that this is something I'm doing or I want to do, and I should get the results immediately. And I think that goes back a little bit to our conversation about results and what do they look like. There are immediate results, and then there are long-term results. You know, we do this action and it has an immediate result, but that's likely not the final result, because that action will have ripple effects for a long time. And the true results, whatever they may be, might not come for further down the road. You know, again, we've done this.
Not recognize them. It may
Correct.
not be a one-for-one.
Correct. They may not be what you thought they were.
I met Tom 9-10 years ago at a networking event, and we hung out at other events, and then we would get together for coffee, and then we'd start a business together. Who knows how that all comes about? And I think that's the thing when we talk about patience, we have to divorce ourselves from the immediate expectation, like our networking event tomorrow morning. If someone's coming to that networking event with a PDF that they're ready to email someone to do business, it's going to take more than that. You're going to need to follow up. You're going to need to understand the person. But, you know, we tend to go to networking events and evaluate them like, well, how many customers did you get? And meanwhile, I see people at networking events, even Zoom events, and it's like a year and a half later, they're like, hey, I've been meaning to call you. I'm like, I met you a year and a half ago. Really? It took this long? But it's got to be the right time, the right place. And we can't accelerate that, and we can't slow it down. It happens when it happens.
Yeah, it's just
so funny to hear myself saying this, because it's so not what I was. And I've had to really learn it.
Well, it's good that you can vocalize it now. That's the next, wasn't that the next process, right? You imagine it, then you share it, then you actually live it and believe it.
So I still have work to do, is what you're saying?
Well, I think we all do, right? Because
Indeed.
Deep down inside of each one of us, we want to think that we take an action and we have the results we want. You know, we put our product out there and that everybody is going to buy it because we believe that it is the answer for whatever that might be. Well, it might be our answer. It doesn't necessarily mean it's somebody else's answer, and somebody else might not be asking that question at the time we think they are asking it. And so I think it's one of those things that we all believe in what we do. You know, it's a weird, like, we believe in what we do, and because of that belief, we think everybody should take action.
Yeah.
And when they don't, we start to question that belief, when in reality, what we want to do is continue that belief to think that we are on the right path. And it's just a matter of timing of when it's all going to come to fruition. We just don't know what that timing is, and we don't control it. So it becomes harder and harder to believe in it, right? I mean, it's such a weird thing. Go
I
ahead.
want to get some comments in. I finally figured out how I could do it with my convoluted setup. Tim says, good morning, Renegades. Tim, we're with you today in our thoughts and prayers. I know you got another procedure. Good luck with it. Hope to see you bright and early tomorrow morning. Hopefully not groggy. But and then my sister Beth says, not that I have any other sisters. She said, good morning, Bob and Tom. You make my day every time I watch your podcast. Wow.
Look at that.
Look at that. Look at that.
Isn't that worth it all?
Indeed. Indeed. It's very kind. Thank you, Beth. That's very touching.
Although Tim does say this. Patience is a virtue. Get it if you can. Seldom found in women. Okay. Never found in man.
Oh, boy, I saw that one going south.
I think I have a lot of patience. So I don't know, Tim. I'm going to challenge that perception that I think I'm a pretty patient person.
I'm not going to touch that one because there is no upside for me on that one.
All right.
So, Tom, as I move delicately on, demonstrating patience, what's that one thing for you today? That thing we need to think through and maybe change our lives because of that incredible insight that you're about to provide us?
Well, I think that if we're really talking about what it is, I think I would go back a little bit to what you said, is that it's trust and belief in what we're doing. It's not necessarily results. That if we truly believe and trust that what the path we are taking is our own unique pathway, the results are going to happen and we can't control them. And so to really be so driven on results, I can't control how long I'm going to wait in line at Disney for a ride. I have no control over that.
Well, you can control it because you can choose not to wait in line.
Well, you can do that, correct. You can choose not to participate. That is one way to control it. The other is if I believe that this is something I truly want to do, and it's just a matter of when do I get to do it or when is it going to happen, to me, that's patience. Patience is willing to wait out something that you truly believe in to get the result you think you're going to get. The timing is the piece we can't control.
Again, Tom, wise words. I don't know that there's anything that I could add to it. I just, you're on fire.
I don't know. Tim thinks I'm taking things too personally, so I'm going to.
So, Tom, do you want to wrap this up?
Yeah, you don't have a one thing?
I think my one thing is your one thing. I think it really is about trusting. If we believe in ourselves, if we trust in ourselves, it will happen when it's meant to happen. And I know saying those words, you hearing me say those words is just so not how I roll, but it's something that I aspire to. And as we talk through this week, I'm hoping that by sharing the words, it helps me to start doing it better and more, and with more intention and more focus.
Well, I would say that, one of the things about that is that for 314 episodes in a year plus, your knowledge, experience, and perspective has been influenced.
Yes.
So what is real for you now is not what was real for you 3 months ago, 6 months ago, a year ago. And so we all, through whatever process we are going through, those things change. And so we start to see things in a different light because we were willing to listen and be open to that our knowledge, experience, and perspective can change, that it's not right. It's just what's real for us. So I think that the beauty of conversations like this, communities like the Ring of Renegades, is that you have the opportunity to be influenced and to have that impact what is real for you. And I think that if we choose, which we can, not to engage in that, we're likely going to think that we're right. And what is real for us won't change. If we are willing to consider that there are other things out there that we can learn, engage, and know, not being able to control how quickly that happens, but just understanding that it is inevitably going to happen if we are willing to go out and have conversations, to meet other people, to go to networking events, to come hang out at a check-in and check-up, which might seem like a silly thing. Why would I do that? It's like, hey, you know what? Because I never know who I might meet what I might learn, what I might take away from it. So I hope that you have enjoyed our conversation about patience and you patiently waited for the end of this episode. And I hope that if you have your own one thing that you'd like to share about patience, that would be great. Please feel free to put it in the comments, or you can just share it in the Ring of Renegades Facebook group. If you are not yet a member of our Ring of Renegades Facebook group, it's easy to join. Just go to Facebook, search for Ring of Renegades, and then ask to join. You just have to tell us why you think you're a renegade or why you want to be a renegade. And you can become a part of our growing community that is trying to help each other take our own unique next step along our pathway to success. So we hope that we will see you inside there. Or we'll see you tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. Eastern time for our next edition of today's Antidote, or at 8:30 for our networking event tomorrow morning. So have a great day, everyone. And here are some further details about the Ring of Renegades Facebook group.
Carving your own path is tough. You want and need a community to offer you insights and advice, share inspiration, provide support, and save you time and money. But where do you find all that? Here's the easy answer: the Ring of Renegades Facebook group, where leaders, entrepreneurs, and business owners identify their next steps. Here's some of what you will find at the Ring of Renegades Facebook group. Just go to ringofrenegades.com and join today. Find and accomplish those next steps.